Today, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. And the best part? There's no annual contract. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
When you game with Alienware, you have the freedom to be anyone, like the galaxy's most feared warrior, and the freedom to go anywhere. Elevate your gameplay with the new Alienware X Series laptops with 11th gen Intel Core processors. Defy boundaries and start gaming now at alienware.com.
Hello. Welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland. This is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. Now, I don't know if you can hear that little buzzing in the background. Don't worry, it's not your ears, it's not your hearing aid playing up. It is. This is ridiculous. This is just silly, okay? I've got a laptop. It's a good laptop. It's a really, really good laptop. Which I'm using, which I'm going to be using for editing and for video editing and stuff like that. And, you know, it overheats, which is annoying because I'm going to be using that to live stream and to make videos using the PC, plugging stuff into it. Can't do a live stream or video with like a hurricane going on in the background. So I looked for this solution. Basically just it means it's overheating, the fan goes a little bit, you know, haywire if it's being used for too many things. Now I've had it on and it wasn't even doing much. I wasn't even, you know, putting it through its paces. And it's a really good laptop, you know. But it was making a noise. The fans were overheating. So I looked for the solution, a cooler mat. So I bought this cooler mat. Cool. Not just a cooler mat, a cooler mat. Now, the cooler mat plugs into the laptop via a USB connection. The cooler mat is louder than the actual laptop. So I've got 3 times as much noise as before. And the laptop's still buzzing. Even though the cooler mat has a fan and blows cool air up the bum of the PC, of the laptop. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, I won't know how loud it is until I listen back to the recording. So apologies if it's like really loud, but I can hear it. Admittedly, it's not really close to the microphone. That's where my gob is. My gob's close to the microphone. Nothing else is really near. But nevertheless, like, blimey, man. I can't do a live stream without blowing off. Blowing off. Ooh. So, it's always just these constant obstacles. It's just, even with decent top-class equipment, that recording desk thing I bought, it's a big old thing, right? It takes a mini SD card, not like even a normal size SD card, a mini SD card, tiny kind of thing. It's only just a little bit bigger than the kind of thing you put in your phone, the SIM card in your phone. It's like a tiny little thing, a little bit thicker, but tiny. And it got lost. It got stuck in the machine, in the slot, And like, well, what did you do wrong? No, stop trying to make. Well, try and find. Why are you always trying to find ways to blame me? It's not my fault. You know, some people are like that, and there always has to be a blame. Well, what did you do wrong? How did you put it in? Did you put it in wrong? Were you standing on your head when you did it? No, I just put it in. You know, the idea that, oh, mechanical things could never go wrong. Well, yeah, they can, can't they? Anyway, I put it in, it got stuck. Tried to unhinge it, tried to unstick it by sticking some... Well, you know that metal thing that you put SIM card, that you open your phone up? You know, it's a little metal thing. I tried to get through it. Unplugged it first, obviously. Tried to sort of get to it from that way. And it didn't. It just basically now it fell out and it's inside the case, just flapping around. Reproducing or whatever mini SD cards do. Absolutely ridiculous. And the whole idea is using that is so I didn't have to plug it into anything else. I can't believe, honestly, it's like a whirlpool over here. What's next? In the corner, a volcano will erupt. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely silly. Scared to go into the bathroom in case I get hit by a tsunami from the bath. This whole flat is cursed. Anyway, that's enough moaning. Maybe. Today, Friday the 1st of October, the first part of the day was trying to sort out my bills. A payment I was expecting didn't come through, so I couldn't pay my bills. I had to chase it up, blah, 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 blah. So it was a lot of hassle, and then eventually it came through. Now all that's gone. Just paying off the electric bill, and electric and gas bill, credit card bill. Let me have a look. What bills did I pay off? Let me tell you. I've got it written down somewhere. Because I tried to pay this stuff off with a credit card. No, can't use a credit card. And they increased my credit, so I've got more to spend, so they can make more money off me at interest. But I thought I'd use it to pay off the bills, because there's no money in the bank. No one would accept it. And the ironic thing, it's an Amazon credit card. Even Amazon wouldn't accept it. I'm not even joking. It's got Amazon on it. It's a credit card from Amazon. Okay, it's underwritten by a bank or whatever, but Amazon, I could not buy anything on Amazon with the Amazon credit card. Now, this ain't gone wrong there, isn't there? Absolutely ridiculous. So, let me change my glasses so I can actually see what I'm doing. Ooh, there you go. So I paid the other credit card. I paid the catalogue. Didn't pay Argos because it doesn't need to be paid till the 20th of October. So I'll do it then. Yeah, the credit card wouldn't accept. The catalogue wouldn't accept the credit card. Argos, only debit cards accepted. Is it because they get charged extra? Well, in that case, charge me extra. If it's going to charge you a couple of pound extra, just put that onto my, make my life a little bit easier, please. And the electric and gas company, no, they don't accept credit cards. Amazon do accept credit cards if you pay for their Prime. If you pay for Prime, they accept credit cards, because I had to buy some stuff, so I joined Prime because it was going to save me money on postage and packing. I need to get some stuff for a friend. It accepted it for that, but when I went to actually purchase the items that had free postage and packing, it wouldn't accept it. It's amazing. Amazes me. Amazon don't even accept their own credit card. Nothing here. Spotify wouldn't accept a credit card. Disney did, I think. Yeah, Disney did. Adobe do, but I'm not due that one anyway. That's already been paid. So what I did when I got the money, and I normally have at least £200 go straight out at the beginning of the month. Like council tax, TV license, mobile phone, the iPad, what other things? A few other bits and bobs go out on the first of the month. So none of that could go out. Hopefully they'll just try again, because now the money's in there. Enough hopefully to cover. But the rest of it I paid off what I need to do on the credit card. £148.22 on the catalogue. £131.17 for the gas and electric. Spotify, it was $9.99. I think there's a couple of other things as well. I can't remember. It's not written down. Oh, I got Now TV. That's $9.99 a month. And they offered me a deal, special discount deal. Went back on there. This was yesterday when I tried to get the deal. So they offered me these two deals, half price for the movies and for the things. I thought, well, yeah, I'll have that. Went to take the deal. My credit card wouldn't go through. Went back today to get the same deal, but with just the debit card. No, deals are gone. Bye-bye. No. Like, why? Why? I don't understand. I don't get it. I can't believe how noisy that cooling machine is. The machine, well, it's not a machine. Well, it is. I suppose it's mechanical. But it's a cooling, a laptop cooling pad, specifically to quieten down the laptop. And it sounds like a helicopter is landing inside my ear. Crazy, mate. Crazy. There you go. So I've decided, I've been putting this off a bit, but I've downloaded all the Adobe suite onto that laptop. And I'm going to start learning to use the software. Starting to learn to use all of it, actually. I want to just like plod around and see what I can do and play with it, really. And just, I'm thinking of making some videos, not with my face on them, but just like a lot of videos on YouTube, you know, like spiral with the voice, you know, the voice of the person speaking, but like a spiral animation, or maybe scenes of the countryside or rivers and stuff like that. So, or like a lit candle. Now, I've done all that in the past. I have made those kinds of videos, but not using this software. So what I'm thinking of doing is try to make some videos and post them on my YouTube channel, and hopefully they will they will gain some views, because they'll be more in line with what YouTube's about, as opposed to just sharing my podcast episodes onto YouTube and it's just a blank screen, really, with a little picture. and the audio. And I don't get many people listening. I don't at all, like 1,000 views a month, something like that. 275 hours a month in the last 30 days. And it's about average. That's sort of every month's about that. In fact, it's gone down. It was more than that. But that was when I was uploading lots, like every day. So I'm trying to get all my stuff on there. Now I just put them on as and when I do them. Or every few days, just, update. Now, unless YouTube changes, or unless people because some people don't mind listen to the podcasts, unless that changes, I'll need to start making like proper videos, either of myself doing a hypnosis session or relaxation session or whatever, or putting a video together with my voice behind it or in front of it, or however you want to. But the voice is invisible, can't be in front, can it? So yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. Well, that is what I'm going to do. When I've got a little energy spurt to do it. And I was watching MMA on TV just now, and it was on BBC iPlayer. I can't believe it. It's like live, but on BBC iPlayer, which I imagine you can get all around the world because it's just an app. But maybe I might be wrong. But then there was an interference with the signal, and on it came BBC One iPlayer Channel 4. So BBC in conjunction with Channel 4. It's a weird mix. At this point, I've no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm just guessing. It just seems like a weird mix to have BBC mixing with a commercial channel. A commercial channel. Who knows? I don't, obviously. What else is that? Oh yeah, I had to pay £50 back to a friend who lent me money a few days ago, or last week, to get through. So that money went, oh blimey. Money. But one thing that's happened is my headphones, admittedly they were cheap, because my other headphones broke, which annoys me, because the heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua, former heavyweight champion of the world until Saturday night last week, he wears them. He's been wearing his headphones for years, and I imagine he's got a much bigger head than me, and a lot tougher, a lot harder head. Yet mine just broke. He's got to have a bigger head than me, just because he's just bigger. You know what I mean? He's 6'6", 17 stone, and I don't know. I mean, being a boxer, I imagine your head would become bigger, I suppose, over a while, like a bit bruised, and maybe that doesn't make sense, but I can't have the same size head as someone that's 6'6", and no, I don't think height's really got anything to do with it, has it? The taller you are, the bigger your head is. If anything, it'd probably work the other way around, because of gravity. The shorter you are, the bigger head you can actually manage, because you need that girth, I don't know, to support it, maybe. I don't know where I'm going with that. Oh yeah, my headphones. So they broke, chucked them in the bin. They just snapped completely, the side of it. I was in town talking to the big issue seller. I took them off to put. I felt I was just gonna put them around my neck or something. They just broke. Very annoyed. She found it funny, bless her. And I got some other headphones, and they were only £39, I think. Very cheap. Bluetooth. I don't take them out. I don't wear them outside anymore. I just wear them to watch television, not normal TV, but anything on the internet. It connects to Bluetooth, so therefore I'm not disturbing anyone else. So that's what I've been using it for. Well, yesterday, for some reason, the headphones decided not to connect by Bluetooth anymore to the television. Why? I don't know. Why? I don't know. Why? I don't know. Very frustrating. Very annoying. Because I enjoy... Sometimes I like to sit here at the laptop or whatever and do work on my website and listen to Spotify for hours. You know, it's one of my favourite things to do, actually. I quite like to, you know, if I'm just updating on the admin stuff, you know, making images or whatever that stuff I do, I can chill out listening to that. Now, as I was speaking to you, I realised I haven't tested the headphones to see if they link up with my phone. If they link up to my phone, then I can listen to Spotify via my phone. It doesn't have to be on my TV. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll give it a try. I can't do it now because I'm talking to you, and I'm giving you my undivided attention, even though my chin did just hit the microphone. Sorry about that. It is ridiculous. The sound of that blimmin' cooler. By the way, if it is annoying you, don't worry, it will not be on again. I'm in the middle of downloading that whole, you know, a lot of stuff at the moment onto the laptop from the Adobe suite, the cloud or whatever. And I don't want the laptop overheating, so I'm going to leave it plugged in. In fact, I'm not. I'm going to unplug it because I've just realised I don't have to do anything, do I? Oh, peaceful. Now, I don't know, because the way that that cooler pad is built is it's off the desk and it's full of holes at the bottom. That might be enough to cool the laptop anyway, because it's not just pushing all of its air into the desk. You know, it might, without turning on that fan, it might actually prevent the laptop from overheating. I don't know. The reason I'm saying that is because I'm pretty sure that the old versions of laptop coolers were just that. They didn't have anything you plugged in. They were just designed so the bottom of the laptop would be raised off the ground. So there's a gap with holes in, and there's a gap between. So it's not like just on either your lap or on a desk, which could prevent it from overheating to start with. So thinking about that, I might be able to get away without having to plug it in. But I don't know. I just really don't know. I don't know. Let's see if I've got any messages readable. can't see anything. Saga Holidays, our new brochures are here, says my email address. Ooh, Saga. Because I'm old enough now. I'm now officially an old fogey, and I can go on old fogey holidays. After over 50. Apparently you can go on Saga Holidays if you're with somebody that's over 50. If you're like their guest or something. Or their wife. Or their husband. Or their sons. But it's pretty much a child-free zone, which is good. Well, I don't know, it doesn't... I'll be honest, I'm not that bothered. I'm not really one of those people that are like, no, children making noise all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been on a cruise, so I don't know what it's like. I know how it can be on a long train journey with a group of children sitting at one of the tables or whatever. Being loud for 73 hours straight. What kind of journeys do you go on? 73 hours. You could travel from one end of the UK to the next, or England, or Britain, or I don't know, this island. One end and back, probably 5 times in 72 hours. I did get a message from Tara. Hello, Tara. How are you? It says, thank you. This was 2 days ago. I wanted to say thank you for doing what you do. I listen to you every night to get to sleep. My favourites are the try to keep your eyes open. They work best for me. Well, thank you. Is that the one? Yeah, I think that's the try and keep your eyes open, or try not to fall asleep. That is my most popular YouTube videos. Try to stay awake hypnosis challenge, and by far, like by a mile, that has been it's the only video that's been popular. I say popular in my world. It's not popular in YouTube wise. It's a complete failure, but it's my most popular video that I've ever made. And I did that in 2012. So it's literally it's over 9 years away. 9 years ago I made that. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11. When was the royal wedding? Royal wedding. Royal wedding. The royal wedding. May 18. Royal wedding. Okay, William. If I just put in William. Wow. Okay. So yeah, it's 10 years old. 2011. So, because I moved out, I was evicted from the place when I was at university. Started a course in September 2007. Moved into this accommodation November 2007. Finished my degree in, I don't know, June 2010. I received my diploma or degree, whatever you want to call it, in November 2010, and then January 2011 I was given my eviction notice. Oh, how lovely. That was my late Christmas present from them, I think, or it was their late Christmas present to themselves. So I moved out of there. So it's over because I think I did that in the summer 2011. So that video is over 10 years old. And you can tell if you watch the video of me yesterday on Facebook and you watch that video of me on YouTube, and you can see I'm a little bit younger then. I was. And I was old then. Honestly, I was. I was, 41. No, I was 40 still, because it was before my birthday. So I was 40, and now I'm 51. I'm going to be one of those that start mumbling their age. Yeah, I'm 73. Oh, really? You're what? 32. See, I can't tell people I'm 35 because no one's going to believe it. What's the point? And what's the point in pretending or not telling people? Because you ever met people like that? Even men. Because I was brought up to never ask a woman her age, which is why I went out my way to ask women their ages when I was younger, because I wasn't supposed to, which is why I did it. Because I just love to see people squirm, because they were also brought up to think that a man shouldn't ask a woman her age, so they weren't prepared for it. Are you 21 again, are you, Nan? Or are you really 93? Come on, let's just find out. 21 again? Blimey. What's wrong with just being an age? I mean, there's a degree of like, what's it got to do with you? Yeah. I think I'd respect that more. If I say, well, how old are you? It's never because I'm preparing to mock them. Not now. It's never to, I'm going to make fun of their age or use it in some way to annoy them. Use that precious secret information. Come on. But there's still some people like, oh, how old are you? I'm not telling you. I prefer them just to say, mind your own business. What's it got to do with you? That, to me, is a better response than, I'm not going to tell you. Because if they say, mind your own business, they're probably not embarrassed by it. They just don't like you. They don't like you asking, because it's none of your business. Which is true, I suppose. Well, it is, yeah. I just think that I've got the right to all knowledge. So, yeah. If people actually ask me to guess, it's not a good idea to ask me to guess your age, because I will go way over the top. I will. So if I say, sometimes if I say, how old are you? So a woman may be in her 60s or whatever, and I'll say, how old are you? Or a man. But I talk to more women than men, so that's probably why I'm a woman, I'd say. Just because I just have more conversations with women than I do with men. Always have done, really. And they'll say something like, oh, guess. So, admittedly, I straight away, 83. I'm not 83, I'm 42. Why did not tell me that to start with, so we didn't have to go around and play these pointless games? Now, back to the original question, will you marry me? So, I don't know, it's... I sometimes go the other way. Above or below 50, I'll say. Below 50. Or above or below 40. Below 40. Something like that. And say, okay, 9. And they're clearly, in their 40s or 30s. Like, you're 9 years old. Like, guess. You're 5. Guess. 106? Don't ask me to guess, because I'm not gonna even attempt, because I can't tell anymore. I genuinely cannot tell how old anyone is. Really, I don't know anymore. I can't gauge it, because, well, for one thing, a lot of young women walk around with blue hair. I say a lot, but some that I've seen. And, when I was younger, that's what pensioners used to have. They used to have blue hair. Very old ladies used to have blue hair. If you think I'm lying, it's true. The blue rinse was a big thing. Because it made them look so much younger. Because, I think it's like, well, no one's going to think I'm grey if I have blue hair. Yeah, that's true. They're going to be so confused. Like, she's got blue hair. I wonder why does she do that? Because she's got, why? That couldn't be because she's grey. Oh yeah, also, that's another reason. Because when I was a kid, women were grey. Not all of them, but generally women over the age of 50, should we say, had grey hair. Now that isn't the case anymore. I mean, everyone over 50 has grey hair, generally, but I'm talking about like wearing it out grey, being grey, and it's. I mean, I see women. I'm saying women because men don't seem to care. I mean, I think men give up on their looks by the time they reach 40 anyway. So, no one, man, I don't care. What, my hair's falling out? What am I going to care about going grey? I'm going bald. That's a bigger thing. My willy's shrinking. Come on, do you think I care about the colour of my hair? So, that's a fee. Get to 50. The only pleasure you have the only pleasure in life is a bowel movement. That's a weird one. Never expected that to happen. So, back to positivity. I'm walking in the air. If you were my lover. Well, the laptop seems to be very quiet now. I think because I was talking about him for so long. He's now a little bit shy, a little bit embarrassed, innit? Yeah. Haven't made any recordings today, apart from this one. And it's fairly late at night. It's getting on 23 minutes past midnight. So it will be uploaded before the end of the official day, which is 1:30. But I don't know what I have. Excuse me. I normally edit that out, but I can't be bothered. I have some days where I just don't want to do anything. And I don't really like the label bipolar, if I'm honest. I think when I first got it, I liked it just because finally an explanation. That was where I was with that. And then I find out a couple of years, and then I ignore it. So I find out I'm diagnosed with bipolar 2011, December. because I had a bit of a weird year that year. I did a few weird things. And a few weird behaviours that pointed to something not being quite right. So I went to a doctor and I was on antidepressants and stuff. This isn't a really negative story. This is just fact. So I don't think fact has to be positive or negative. It just is. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's negative or positive in your eyes, that's your response to it, I guess. But I'm not going to go into any kind of weird details that should bring any kind of negative response, because I'm just giving you the very basic facts and the timeline of that particular event. Thank you very much indeed. And I was pleased, not pleased to be diagnosed with bipolar, but I was pleased to have, for the first time, some kind of an answer after having decades of mental health issues. Decades and decades and decades since a child. All kinds of stuff. Amount of times I've been on medication for depression, huge amounts of anxiety, lost 2-3 jobs over anxiety and stress in the past, done some weird stuff. The doctor ran out of things to give me to diagnose me with. First of all, it's stress. When they couldn't, I was ill for a year into 1994-5, stroke 5, because it was through the path of each year, and I was ill, like really ill, physically. Couldn't find anything wrong with me. Test after test after test, and eventually they said, "Yeah, you've got stress." And I literally had 2 specialists in front of me telling me this. "We can't find nothing wrong with you, man. Must be stress. Take these tablets." They didn't actually say take these tablets, because they gave me a piece of paper with a prescription on, and I had to go and collect them from the chemist. Not pharmacist, chemist, because that's what they used to be called. Now pharmacist for some reason, and it's spelt wrong. PH should be F. Ridiculous. Makes me so mad. And so that's the new catch. Sorry, that was loud. That's the new catchphrase. Makes me so mad. So and then, I've been through that old stress, anxiety disorder, recurrent stress disorder, recurrent anxiety disorder, recurrent depression disorder, blah, 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 blah. So many different things. And then to be diagnosed with bipolar. And then I took medication, and it was the medication they gave me knocked me out completely. So I took it, and within, honestly, 10 minutes I was unconscious. And I'm at an age where I get up out. This isn't going in the direction you think it's going. Just let you know that. I'm at the age where I get up at least once a night to go to the toilet. I didn't wet the bed, don't worry. But I also drink water. So I'll go to the toilet. Or if I don't need to go to the toilet, I'll have a drink of water. I get dehydrated. It's not really dehydrated, because dehydrated is a serious thing. We use that though, like I'm starving. You're not starving. You're hungry. I get dehydrated. No, you're not dehydrated. Dehydrated, that's being in a desert without any liquid for a day or 2 days. That's dehydration. That's a serious medical condition. This dehydration is like, I haven't had a drink for a few hours. So you know what I mean. When I say dehydration, I had a dry mouth, and I needed I needed some liquid. And so I had a headache. I was waking up and I had a headache because I hadn't... Oh, it was horrible. I took them for a few days, And I was tired during the day. Like, how can I be tired after being asleep all night rather? So I stopped taking them. And then I just carried on with my life. 2013, I got at the end of so I moved. At the end of 2012, I got a job in a call centre. I'd lost all the counselling, gone. Everything had gone pretty much by that point. They still had a little bit of counselling work in 2013 for the first, 4 months or something. But things have gone really bad financially, all that stuff, and it's because of the government cuts. Because I was working for charities, they would employ me by the hour to do counselling and to sometimes go into schools and counsel young people and counsel old people, whatever. So I was working for, at one point, 3 different charities, plus private practice, and I didn't have many clients in a private practice. And then suddenly I went from 16 clients down to about 4, something like that, maybe 5, and that wasn't enough. That didn't even cover the rent. And I was living cheap as well, at that point. But, it just all went a bit pear-shaped. I did get some work as a care assistant. I'm laughing because it didn't go very well. That's probably not in a bad way, it was just the training was ridiculously bad. And they're basically, providing a person doesn't have a criminal record, anyone can do that job. Temperament has nothing to do with it. They don't care what your temperament is. They honestly, they'll just give you work. Not all agencies, I'll be honest. I have had an interview with another place that were very, very thorough. But I've had 2 care assistant jobs. One was just with an agency, and it wasn't even a job, it was just temp. The other place was an actual job, and I was working in a psychiatric unit. This is while I was at university. And in the training, or in the interview, actually, so the interview was first. I had 2 people in front of me, or 3 even, and they said to me, "What would you do if one of the patients attacked you?" Now, I'm not even lying here. Okay, this is what they said to me. What would you do? You're going to be working. If you're successful, you'll have training and basic training, first aid and all that stuff. Like 2 days worth of training, and a couple of online courses of hygiene and health and safety, stuff like that. What would you do? This is a volatile area. A lot of the people are in there for violent crimes, some of them, or maybe during psychosis or whatever. And so I said, okay, I understood that. I'm aware of that kind of situation. I'm aware of why they might be in there. Anyways, they said, what would you do if someone attacked you? And I said, I'd punch them. That's what I said. Honestly, you might think because I do muck around and lie a lot when I do these recordings and just make stuff up. But I genuinely said I would punch them. If someone attacked me, I'd punch them with the hope of knocking them on the floor. I wouldn't hurt them, wouldn't start stomping them, but I would punch. Someone attack, I'd punch them. It's just a natural reaction. I thought, because it plopped out of my mouth like a set of false teeth when you're laughing. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't realise it was going to happen. Just plopped out. I punched him. I didn't mean to say it. It was the truth. It was what I was thinking, but I didn't know it was going to come out of my mouth. And after that, I thought, oh, okay, it doesn't matter what I say now. You know, even if I start singing Dancing in the Rain, the chance of me saving this interview is probably gone. But I had the umbrella and everything, but just needed a lamppost. So anyway, they said, oh, okay, we'll get back to you, we'll let you know. Before I was even home, phone call, yeah, you're successful. What? I said, you have to do the criminal check, obviously, before you're allowed to work, but you can start the training. And I said, all right, okay. They said, if you're available, I think it was like 3 days training. I think I have a vague memory of it because I've done a few different trainings over the years, so I can't always remember what's what. And I couldn't believe that. All I was thinking is, I just told you that I'm probably not a good candidate for that position. I mean, I didn't mean to present myself like that. And I'm not an aggressive person, so I think at the time I was doing boxing. So I was training in boxing a couple of times a week. So, and I had a punch bag in the garden, and you know, so I guess that's probably where I was coming from. It's just the natural reaction, and couldn't believe it. They gave me the job, and it was every Saturday and Sunday, because I was at college all day, you know, all week, or university all week. Every Saturday and Sunday, I think it was something like 13 and a half hours, so really early in the morning till the early evening. So about 13 and a half hours a day, Saturday and Sunday. And boring and tedious. Don't do it justice. Those poor buggers that live there. I don't know what's worse, them living there or them having to put up with the care workers that are there for 13 and a half hours. Cooking them dinner. We were cooking them dinner. No one there was a cook. We were just care workers, but we were cooking them food because there was a kitchen. We were getting them their dinner ready, but making the dinner for them. See, I'm sorry, but that's wrong. There should be a chef. I don't know. I don't mean Gordon Ramsay, although I'd quite like to see him act tough in that particular environment because he wouldn't get on very well. Imagine him shouting at the patients. You'd see that on the news, wouldn't you? Gordon Ramsay head was discovered in the garden or in the fridge. So yeah, it's I tell you, and this is stuff that I probably shouldn't really say, but I won't mention details. But they were all doped up, like completely sedated. Not all of them, but a couple. There was one person sitting there all day in a chair, didn't do anything, didn't move, just watched television all day. And some of the patients had to have someone with them all the time. And I looked at these girls. I was in a female-only ward. There was me and another man, and there was mainly just the rest were women. There was a nurse, and because I had to have a nurse to prescribe the drugs, and not prescribe, to give them the drugs, and to be there in case of emergencies, because there was weird things happen sometimes, as I'm sure you can imagine, which needs an emergency nurse or doctor. weren't far away from the hospital either. And some of the females were just full of energy, and if you didn't know where you was, I guess you'd be an impatient, wouldn't you? No. If you didn't know where you was, you would. If you just met that person, you could be anywhere. You could be in a nightclub, in a pub, in a park. You wouldn't think anything of it. The way they were behaving was just as normal as anyone else, just with a bit more energy. Funny, articulate, just humans. And I thought, this isn't how I expected a place like this to be. Because this wasn't just a normal, I say normal, this was extreme. This was an extreme psychiatric unit. They were, you know, this was like court, like these were like prison sentences for a lot of these people. They were basically sent there instead of prison for crimes. So, you know, like I know people that have been sectioned that have never done a bad thing to another person in their life, never committed a crime really, apart from maybe, I don't know, urinating on a cow, or you know, just something minor like that. But I don't know. I didn't know what it was all about. I didn't know who I was dealing with until at the end of the day, at the end of the shift, we all had to do a log of, and we basically needed to. We were told who we needed to keep an eye on, and then we'd write a log about them. We'd write about how they did, what they did, and whatever. Did a jigsaw puzzle, and if they misbehaved, if they were naughty, and by naughty I mean got into a fight with another inmate, which they were inmates basically. They weren't allowed to leave. It was a prison. I was basically a prison guard, which is weird to think that. And they would have these huge files of information about them. And so, you know, I was filling this form in, so I had a little look. I wasn't interested in personal details, you know, and I'm not going to disclose any details. But I couldn't believe, actually I'm going to disclose some, I couldn't believe, I'm not. I kind of feel I should because it makes it more interesting. But anyway, I couldn't believe some of the crimes that they'd been found guilty of. Some of these, well, all of, you know, pretty much all of them. Yet none of them came across as being particularly aggressive or anything. And the one sitting in a chair watching telly all day, wow. I mean, not at one point did I ever feel at risk sitting on a settee opposite her. She hardly spoke. When she did, she was polite. You know, really polite. Wow. You know, when I saw what she was in there for, I could see why she needed someone to be watching her the whole time. But she just didn't seem like any kind of a threat to anyone. She was just a nice person. She seemed like a nice person. A bit out of it, but that's because of the medication. But she seemed like a nice, you know. But then you shouldn't judge people by what they did. You judge. Sometimes say, don't judge someone by what they did. Judge them by what they do. How about just not judge them? Hey. But then the other argument is everybody judges other people. It's natural, it's human. There's an argument in that as well, isn't there? what other care assistant? So I did that, and then I left because it was. I'll be honest, it was boring. It was so damn boring. The stimulation, the staff there had no interest in the patients. Zero interest in the patients. Didn't want to talk to the patients, didn't want to interact with them, didn't want to do anything. In fact, I think some of them, all they wanted to do was antagonize them so that they got into a mood, got angry, and then they could take the patient down to the floor and tackle them and sedate them. And, you know, it's like just to make their day a bit more interesting. Now, I never saw any kind of horrible stuff happen because I wouldn't have put up with it. But it was so subtle. I mean, maybe it wasn't as subtle as what I thought, but to me it was too subtle to be whistleblowerable, if you know what I mean. Plus, they didn't, because all the girls were tough, you know, they were all, the staff wouldn't want to tangle with them one-on-one in a stand-up situation. But it was never one member of staff tackling the patient to the ground. It was always at least two or three. The alarm would go off. Because all alarms we walked around with, pressed the alarm, and suddenly, out of nowhere, people I didn't even know worked there, because there were so many different units all connected together, so people from other units would come in to help. And I didn't like it. Didn't like that aspect of it, but the fact is they would push them, wind them up to the point where they did physically attack or start to look like they were going to. So it's weird, very weird situation. But it was so boring sitting there watching TV. I did actually try to do stuff like, come on, have you got no games here? Have you got any, like not jigsaw puzzles, because that's more boring than, well, is there anything more boring than a jigsaw puzzle? I mean, it's calming, it's relaxing, but boring on a scale of, I mean, yeah, it's really good for relaxing, but it's so boring. It's more boring than me, and nothing's more boring than me. Even I'm the most boring man in the world, and I get bored by jigsaw puzzles. That's actually the second most popular video on my YouTube channel. I filmed myself doing a jigsaw puzzle, and I was so bored by it, I chucked the jigsaw puzzle away afterwards. I didn't finish it. I just couldn't stand. I got so bored making that video. Yeah, it's my second most popular video on the channel. But, you know, being second most popular means I get about 3 video views a month. So let's not get too excited here. You know what I mean? So, I always thought care work could be possibly quite a good thing for me to do. So I suppose I like to think that I'm fairly caring to people that need care. Does that make sense? It's like if someone's ill, that brings out my caring side. If they're not ill, my caring side doesn't even arise. It seems sometimes the most extreme situations will bring out that side of me, like getting in the way of getting in the middle of 2 people fighting. Ridiculous thing to do. It's very dangerous, but I've done it on numerous occasions. People fighting in the street. it'd be 40 people standing around the other side of the road watching and filming it. I go over there because I want to be on a film. I want to go on YouTube. Ooh. And I guess because I'm not little, so they can see me, you know what I mean? I'm not, if I was skinny and tiny, you know what I mean, and they're two big blokes fighting, they'd probably just laugh at me, maybe, but at the same time, I'm softly spoken, and I'm gentle. I remember the last two I stopped, I held their hands, because they both had each other's arms, and what I did is I walked up to them and I said, you two look so lovely, you're adorable the way you're cuddling like that. I didn't. So I held one person's arm and the other person's arm so they could no longer hurt each other, so they didn't have the ability to punch the other one. And I said, come on lads, we've all had a drink, come on, it's been a long day, come on, can't we just get along, eh? We've all got our differences. Can't we just agree to disagree? So they basically just said the same thing. I said, okay, I've got it, if you can relax, tell him to relax, and tell him to let go. Because I was saying, if you let go, I'll make sure nothing happens. I said, if you let go, he ain't going to hurt you while I'm here. I'm so tough like that. I'm not tough at all, but for some reason, that side of me comes out. I remember saying to my nan, we were going down a slope, and she was on a walking stick. Well, she wasn't on a walking stick, she wasn't a witch flying around on a walking stick. She was just walking. And I said to her, Nan, don't worry, there's no way in the world you're going to land on the floor. I will stop you from falling. In reality, there was very little I could really do to stop her from falling. It's afterwards I thought about that. The intention in my head was, nothing in the world will prevent me from stopping her from falling. Nothing, you know what I mean? There's nothing. I will stop. I will use whatever is necessary, even if it means falling on the floor ahead of her so she lands on me or something. But in reality, that's not true. If she'd fallen, I probably would have grabbed her to stop her, and I probably would have gone over with her, landed on her probably, which you don't want my body landing on you, which would have made it worse. So I mean, I'm not laughing at the idea of it. I am, but not really, you know. I thought you were going to help me, grandson. I've now got a punctured lung, and I've only got... No, it would be bad, so I shouldn't laugh, but it didn't happen. But my intention was that there's nothing will happen to you, and that was my intention with these two men. I said, he won't hit you, and I said to everyone, he ain't going to hit you while I'm here. I won't let it happen. Plus, I had both of their arms, so they couldn't physically do anything. And they could have just pulled apart and started fighting again. That's all they needed to do. But it turned into some kind of really, really bad display of jiu-jitsu by two people that didn't know jiu-jitsu. Basically, they were holding each other, but it was, nothing happening. Turned out that one of them was a policeman. So the one with the policeman hit the other one with a mobile phone, split his face, his eye open, but they would already been fighting up till then anyway, so I don't know who started it, I don't know. The funny thing about it is, well, not funny, after about, it couldn't have been more than about 4 minutes. Honestly, it wasn't long that I was standing there. All the police cars in the world turned up. You know, I think there was police cars from Canada turned up. Honestly, you know what it's like. They're not there when you need them, but when you don't need them, they're everywhere. And I just stepped back. I think this woman came up and said, "Excuse me." So I let go. I could see all these police. They didn't need me standing there now. I thought they were going to at least ask me a question. I didn't want them to. I just expected it, because that normally is what happens if you're a witness to something. They didn't want a witness, I think. Because I'm guessing the policeman was in the wrong. Well, he was in the wrong for hitting the bloke with a mobile phone to split his eye open. I mean, regardless of anything, he wasn't defending himself. You know, he wasn't in a position of defending himself by doing that. He attacked the bloke. Now, thinking about it, it's a long time ago. This is before I moved in here. So about 7 years ago. Thinking about it, that's probably why they didn't. They didn't tell me to move on. They just started arresting the other bloke. You know, because it takes about 15 police to arrest one man that's just standing there, doesn't it? As we all know. So, but they don't. It's not enough to put handcuffs on someone who's standing there. They've got to put him onto the ground and kneel on him, and you know. Well, if he's already standing there and he's got his hands on his head or hands in front of him, just put the handcuffs on. No, we have to take him to the ground in the most violent manner possible. And that's also the excuse, because if they put you on the ground, you bash yourself on the ground. Because think about it, nearly every single arrest photograph of, no matter what they've been arrested for, if you see it on the news, you see the arrest, or in the newspapers, the picture of them when they've been arrested always got like a black eye, cut lip, cut eye, battered. Always, nearly always got that, because they roughed up during the arrest. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. So that was a weird one, actually. It's a silly thing to do. Best thing to do is never get involved in any of that stuff. It's not worth it. But what can you do? You can't always just ignore things. I think what spurred me on to want to do something is because there was all these people watching. You know, I say 40. There's probably at least 25 people standing around watching, and the crowd was gathering, you know, from the other side of the road. But not one person went over to sort of see if everything was okay, see if perhaps one of them needed a hand to beat the other one up, I don't know, hold him down or whatever. But nothing. So I thought, no, I don't want to be like those people. I don't want to be an observer and just to be someone that does nothing. The same as when the woman outside the supermarket, and again we're probably going back, I don't know, 5 years ago. She'd fallen and possibly broken a hip or something. I didn't know. But, you know, we were waiting. She was waiting for an ambulance, but it was a cold day. A shop. She was outside another shop that was there. She was opposite the supermarket, a little supermarket, and someone gave her a blanket to put over her and a cushion for her head. And I said, perhaps you should put a cushion under her head. And she said, oh, okay. And there was no shortage of people asking if she was okay. So that wasn't the issue for me. You know, people were concerned and they could see that he was there. And everyone that came over, her husband was with her. He just said, go away. No, she's fine, go. Like, typical old man wouldn't, just because he wouldn't accept help for himself, meant that he had to extend that courtesy towards his wife. You know, wouldn't accept help for her either. We called an ambulance, that's it. So he was a pretty stubborn old man and just, you know, probably didn't perhaps really know what was going on, didn't know how to deal with it. Who does this? A situation like that is probably quite difficult. And I mean, especially if they've been married a long time, I guess he quite likes her. So what? I just said, all right, and he said, yeah, she fell over. She can't walk, she can't move her. I think she's hurt her leg or something, hips. And ambulance is on its way. I said, okay. But she was just lying there. And there was something that maybe I just thought, all these people walking past her, she's all the way down there. It must be very intimidating for anyone. Very vulnerable. You're very vulnerable in that lying down on the pavement position. Now, I know, you know, that she's safe. She's as safe as she'll ever be, you know, in ways. All these young people, all these different people of different ages walking past, no one was going to let anything happen to her or her husband. I'm sure they might have been walking past, but everyone was looking, you know, making sure she was okay, that she was all right. You know, no one was going to ignore anything bad, you know, I'm sure. But what came into my mind is, it must be horrible, not just to have like hurt herself, but to have to lay there in the street in such a busy place. Because this is busy. This was a really busy time of the day. It was like 5 o'clock. It was hundreds of people continuously walking past. You know, it was just continuous. The pavements were full and the supermarket was full. It was like really busy time. So what I did is I knelt down to start talking to her, and I said, "Are you all right?" And she wasn't. She was stressed. She was kind of shaking, but not in a. She was, you know, I think she was having a bit of anxiety. So I thought, well, who better than someone like me to talk to her? Who? I'll put it in the last person anyone would want to talk to. Like, just go away, you boring man, go away. Anyway, I started talking to her and I made her laugh. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to lay down. I lay down next to her on the pavement. So she faced me. We had a little kiss, you know. And I just talked to her. And she was laughing. And I thought, you know what? She's no longer getting the attention. Because if anything, people are going to be looking at me. Because I think why is, or the both of us together, why is there these two people? They're no longer looking, saying, why is that old lady on the floor lying there? Because they knew why. Obviously, she'd had a fall. It was, not obviously, but that's the kind of the obvious assumption you'd come to. Because unfortunately it does happen. But why was I lying down on the floor next to her? Took the attention off of her. I couldn't care about the attention being on me. I didn't want it on me, but I didn't care because I was focusing on her. And we were talking. And I just laid there until the paramedics arrived. And we had a good old laugh, being her. Distracted her from her pain, probably. Might not, I don't know. Might have given her more pain, you know. But isn't it weird? More pain sounds like morphine. So I gave her, I distracted her. She didn't seem to be stressed or anxious or anything anymore. And I think even at one point, even her husband started laughing, saying, "Oh no, you're gonna run off with him now, are you?" Or something like that. Like he did the Postman 20 years ago. It was funny. I don't know where he came up with that joke. But yeah, it's doing something a bit weird like that. That's when I realised I needed to maybe see a doctor to get a diagnosis. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thanks for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself because you deserve to be happy. Lots of love. Bye.